Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny, Medicare App Backend API and Node.js inside. Today I need to develop this here the user sites API and most important API for the registrations of the request need to given this here the driver registration, medical shop registrations and hospital registrations. Need this here the which document to need to registers for the this types of user and for the verifications. So need this here the list of documents need to set here already you need to develop inside the admin side, so need to put here the all list of documents needs for this category of like here the doctor for registration to need this here the identifications degree certificates and also need to internship certifications also needs years like these years need to set here the groups and to list of documents how to get this years need to making here the API. Let's start how to write down inside the Node.js. First of all, you need to create here the post URL encode methods need to develop here. So need to write down here the API dot slash. So need to user API. That's why need to first of all the find out here the user part. So need to find here. This is the admin parts. Need to write here. Now need to after here the apps need to give this here. Need to write down here the app dot post dot slash API slash need to write down here the app and slash need to give this here the user types you need to set here. So need to give this here the API names, register, user, document, list. Like we need to set here the API names, register type, change here the name. Now we need to return this here the two callbacks. First one is the request, second one is the response. Functions we need to write here. Now we need to print this here the parameters. We need to call this here the helper.delogs and to request.body we need to print here. And now also need to save inside the request objects inside this body request body we need to save inside these variables. Now we need to first of all the check this here the access tokens are valid or not. So need to check here because it's most important parts of this here the verifications are the needs here. So need to check access tokens. We need to pass this here the request dot body like here's and we need to give this here the response. If here the this authentication token is valid, then to get this here the user objects we need to returning this here. If not valid, so directly you need to unauthorized access you need to returning this here this response server and terminate this here the post methods executions. Like need to writing here the codes. Now we need to check also the parameters need to checking here for the request inside the get these parameters not or not. So need to verify here first of all, and if not valid then to returning this here the missing parameters into server close this API response. And to first of all the use this here the helper dot check parameter valids we need to call here. So need to pass this here the response object, then to pass this here the request objects, and now need to give this here the check key names. So need to pass here first of all need this here the user ID user tabs need to needs here the which user tab inside the registrations need to needs here. We need to pass this here the user tabs. If here the 2 means here the doctor registrations, type 3 means here the medical shops, type 4 means here the hospital registrations, and type 5 means here the admin registration. Here admin registration is not possible because admin only once years for the this systems. Now this validates then to return this here the blank callbacks and to write here the functions we need to like here. Now we need to first of all the identify here the specific documents how to find this here inside the database. We need to write here the one query. We need to most important query for the getting this list. First of all, we need to write down here the db dot query here's and we need to go inside the SQL and we need to select this here the document list data table. So need to select here. So now need to go SQLs and to select here the query and to get this here the all columns names need to getting here and we need to remove this here the types no needs. So need to clean here. Then after created dates also no needs. You need to needs here the modify dates also no needs. Need to clean here like here. So need to setting here and we need to set here the status is equal to need to write down here the question mark and conditions we need to apply here and to write down here the find inside functions we need to call here. And now need to pass here the user tabs we need to get here the API to first question marks one, and we need to like this we need to if here the pass here one we need to example we need to explain here user tab 2 means doctors, and to column inside this value like here 1 2 3 4, and we need to check here not equal to 0 means here the found this data, like we need to set here the conditions otherwise we need to check here the more than 0, like we need to set these conditions otherwise this condition are the good not is equal to 0, like here so we need to set conditions we need to put this here, so now we need to give this here the column names we need to pass this here the user type user underscore type like here, and to set here the question mark, and to modify this here status we need to cut here, and we need to write down here the end conditions and to give this here the behind this. Now cut this query and we need to put this inside the MySQL query, and we need to give this here the parameters value need to pass here, so need to give this here the request dot body request object dots, so need to get here the user types which users so need to register, so need to pass this here the type, and also need to check here the active users only active status, so need to get this here the documents, so need to pass here the one, then after need to another parameters inside we need to get this here the callbacks inside we need to first one is the errors and second one is the results for this query, need to returning this gets here the query results, and like here now first of all we need to check here the errors parameters need to not nulls, then to throw this here the errors means we need to getting this here the database inside this query inside the errors we need to throw HTML errors, and to first of all the past here the errors and response object and to terminate this here the service calls and to return this response and show pass this here the errors message, and return functions to write and execute these functions, so need to close these here, and if here the not gets any errors then to miss this getting here the results need to check here results, so need to check here the length more than 0 means here the found here the documents, else parts response.json, and we need to pass this here the status check here the 0, and we need to set here the message else part no needs document because admin said the not adding for these types for the needed documents, that's why I need to returning this year's no needed documents upload, you need to returning this message if you gets here the results inside the data, then to pass this here the response dot success message inside, and also need to pass here the payload is good, need to pass success maybe need to set here one is good because blank only for this API need to both else and if parts inside the success status to given this year's message document upload needed, and need to check here the status pass here the one, then after need to give this here the payload and to set here the result, and this query are the done here the most important parts of the insert query we need to write here, this is the most important parts maybe here the typo need to fix this here insert spelling find in sets like this we need to this functions names we need to fix this here the issue If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.